There are a couple of ways to add text or titles to your movies. The most basic and simplest are to use titles and text or legacy text media generators, and they're listed under the Media Generators tab there in our tabbed interface in the upper left corner of the program. Titles and text is what Sony created as just sort of a basic title creator for the program. So let's add a title above the clip that's on the timeline now, or the event that's on the timeline now. To do that, let's create a video track above it. I'm just going to right-click here and select the option to insert video track. Now I've got a place to put it. Titles and text is the default value for creating titles. So if I want to, I can just right-click and select Insert Text Media, and it will create a titles and text title for my timeline. There it is. You can see it dropped it into the timeline here. I'm going to hold down the Control key so that thing doesn't try to get inside one of my windows. There it is. I'm going to position my playhead over it so that I can see what I'm doing in the preview window. And we'll move this over to the side. Now, titles and text comes with a number of presets. And if you want to preview what any of those presets look like there in the Media Generators window, let me close this for now. You can just hover your mouse over it, and you'll see what each one of those animations do. Some of them are very, very cool. These same options are available right on the option panel, and I can get to that by clicking on Generated Media button here on my clip. I'm back in here with my title generator, and you'll see I have exactly the same options available here as I have listed as presets on the Media Generators window. If you're going to use one of these, though, select the animation before you start typing in your title, because if you don't, it's going to overwrite your title with the name of the animation. So for instance, if I choose dropping words, it replaces whatever I've typed in there already with the words dropping words. So select your animation first. I'm going to move the playhead just a little farther down the clip here because this animation brings the text in one word at a time. So I want to make sure that I can see the entire title as I'm working on it. Hold down the Control key and I'll move this off to the side. And now I can customize my title and I can call it, for instance, My Big Movie. And I can change the font by just selecting it, selecting a font from here, for instance. I can make it bold if I'd like. I can change the text color here by using the color picker. I can, if I'd like, add a drop shadow, add an outline to it. And under the advanced options here, I can choose whether or not it has a transparent background. When you see a little checkerboard like this, that means it's transparent. That's why we can see the video behind the title right now. I can, of course, change that background. I can change the alpha level, which is the transparency, just by moving this slider here, and I can make it whatever color I'd like. I do like it transparent, so I'm going to keep the alpha level at that level so that now it is transparent. And that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at my animation. Let's take a look at my title. I'm just going to press the home button to get to the beginning of the timeline and press the L button to play it. That's a nice little animation there. Suppose I wanted it to take longer. I wanted it to be on screen longer and I wanted the animation to happen more slowly. I can do that by lengthening the event. If I were to just stretch the event though, notice that it doesn't actually change the length of the event. See that little notch up there at the top? That tells me that's where it ends. And what I'm going to see if I were to play this is that it's going to get to the end and it's going to repeat. It's going to show me the animation all over again. That's not really what I want. There are a couple of ways to change the length of a generated media clip on your timeline. Let's open up the generated media option panel again. And I can manually change it to a certain value right here under duration at the top of the screen. I'm going to change it into 10 seconds, for instance. And when I close the window, now I can drag this out to about 10 seconds before I see that notch. And now if I were to play this, of course, the animation is going to happen much more slowly. Another way to do it is I can expand the event on the timeline, and if I click to open back up the Media Generators option screen, I can click on this option over here at the top right of the screen to match event length. Now the program will automatically expand the running time of this particular animation so it's the same length as I've stretched the event out on my timeline. And when I click on this, you can see now duration has changed to about 14 2/3 seconds. There it is on my timeline at that length. Let's just click home here to send it back to the beginning of the timeline. When I click play or press the L button, you can see that now my animation is very, very slow. You may notice if you look at the Media Generators panel that this Titles and Text tool is just one of 4 ways to create titles and text for your movies. In fact, it's one of 5 ways if you include the legacy text area. And we're going to take a look at how each one of these tools works in some of our upcoming movies. But this tool is probably the simplest to use, and that's not a bad thing by any means because this tool does a lot.